Editing videos is one of the most fun things to do in my opinion. The amount of free expression you can add to the footage you shot is only bound to your ideas. So, kinda limitless, right? Recently, I was asked if I was interested in making a how to edit in Davinci Resolve basics kind of video. While I was already planning something similar, it made me realize that I'm a beginner myself. I can remember how daunting Davinci looked at first and how many questions I had. So this is my attempt at explaining some things, while showing you how I personally approach editing. Keep in mind, I am nowhere near being a skilled editor. Let's learn this together. In this video, I will go over the project manager, tabs in Davinci Resolve and what they do, adding media to your project, navigating your timeline, and my editing workflow. Before we do any of that though, hi, my name is Richard. I make how-tos and videos alike to help you get started making better content for your channel. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy how-tos on Resolve, and tell me in the comment section what you want me to cover next. Now grab a large mug, pour your favorite beverage in, and let's get started. The project manager. This is basically where you organize and save your projects. Organizing your footage is super important. There's nothing worse than working on multiple things and not finding your way around the gazillion files in there. Having said that, there are a few buttons that'll be your best friend. New folder, as described, creates a folder in which you can store your projects. This is especially useful when you have different topics you cover, like how-tos, gaming videos, graphic animations, and whatever comes to mind. You can also create subfolders to make things even easier to find. Just view this as an equivalent to the Windows Explorer. New project. When first clicked, it prompts you to choose a name for your project. After that, Davinci Resolve opens and you're ready to start importing footage and edit or create motion graphics and so much more. When you've saved a new project, it will most likely show up with an image preview. I personally don't like navigating my files like that. You can change the display option of your projects to metadata, name of the file, size, etc. at the top right. Just give the button a click and your manager will look a lot cleaner. Backups. It's always good to have backups of your database. Explained on a very basic level, the projects you save tell Davinci where your files are. Losing one of your projects is the worst, so make sure to make backups once in a while. It is also recommended to make a backup before updating Davinci Resolve. Making a backup is quite simple. Just press the first database icon with an arrow pointing upwards, choose a location that is secure but also easy to find, and save. Restoring your projects after an update or maybe after a crash is just as easy. Click the database icon with the arrow pointing down, select the backup you wish to restore, and click on Open. There's a lot more you can do with the project manager, but let's keep it simple for now and work with one database and just a few projects. Now create a new project and open Resolve. There are 7 main tabs in Davinci Resolve: Media, Cut, Edit, Fusion, Color, Fairlight, and Deliver. Quickly explained, the Media tab is your media sorting system. The Cut tab is useful when you need to cut up tons of footage. The Edit tab, you will arguably spend the most time in here, as it is your main edit environment. The Fusion tab is used for motion graphics, designs, transitions, and so much more. The Color tab is basically Davinci's poster child. This is probably the industry-leading feature of Davinci Resolve and has so many features. To keep it basic though, it lets you enhance and change the coloring of the footage you've shot amongst many other things. The Fairlight tab acts like an audio editing software and a recording, mixing, and mastering suite. Very basic explanation here. The Deliver tab is where you export your footage from in different formats, codecs, etc. With all that explained, open the Media tab. The Media tab, as I said, is your sorting system. Dropping files in will make icons and visually tell you what kind of file it is: video, audio, fusion, or images. When you give the empty space a right click, you can create timelines, import media, and even add bins. Bins are Resolve's equivalent to folders. Pre-organizing and naming your clips, audio and images can be super useful when you have large projects or multiple screen recordings of the same program. In case Davinci opens this window, delete the file from Resolve. Go to File, Project Settings, and change the timeline and playback frame rate to whatever frame rate your footage has. If you don't know the frame rate of your footage, right-click your video file, click on Properties, and go to Details. The frame rate, or FPS, should be shown in the details. Drag and drop some footage in, and meet me in the Edit tab. This is where the fun begins. Depending on how the layout looks for you, open up the following windows on the top left and right corner: Media Pool, Effects Library, and the Inspector, and drop a clip on the timeline. Now let's get started with some basics. To navigate your footage, you can use the zoom in function here, and if you press and hold your mouse wheel, you can scroll to the left or right. When adding multiple clips to the timeline, Davinci has a magnet function. Moving your footage around automatically snaps to the following or previous clips and to your playhead, the red thing on your timeline. You can turn it off, fine-tune clips by pressing on the magnet icon or by pressing N on your keyboard. To cut footage, you can either go to one of the ends of your clip and drag them in to shorten them, which is a non-destructive process, or by clicking the eraser icon and making a cut where you want it to be. Quick tip: you can cut footage and delete footage you don't need easily by selecting the clip, pressing Ctrl B, and deleting the half you don't want. Resolve also automatically deletes empty space if you press delete while the clip is selected. So I'd recommend using backspace to delete clips, especially in a project with multiple layers. Resolve also has some built-in transitions you can use to lead on to the next clip after a cut or edit. Simply open the toolbox in the effects library, select Video Transitions from the effects library, and choose any transition you like. Drag and drop between two clips and edit the length to what looks best. Unlinking clips. Sometimes the recorded clip has audio you don't want to use. For example, if you have a voiceover and music for tutorial videos like the one you're watching right now. But selecting the clip also selects the audio, so if you press backspace, it will delete both. No worries, just right-click the clip and deselect Link Clips. Then click onto an empty section before you select the audio clip, and you're able to delete just the audio clip. Retime control. Is your clip just a little too slow, or did you record a long section and need to time-lapse it in order to fit it in? Right-click on the selected clip and select Retime Controls. Alternatively, select the clip and press Ctrl R. This is a shortcut. Now take the top part of the clip and drag it in to speed up the clip, or drag it out to slow it down. I'd only slow down footage if it's recorded at least double the frame rate project file is in, otherwise it just looks choppy. There's a lot more to this, but I'm keeping it basic for now. Adding effects. To add effects, zoom ins, add a blur, etc., I suggest adding an adjustment clip on top of your original footage. This way, when something goes wrong, you don't have to cut the footage again, or go through an excruciating amount of undos to find the issue. Your toolbox is still open, right? Click the effects section and drag and drop an adjustment clip on top of your original clip. This will create a second video channel. Now you can play around with settings in the Inspector tab. You can zoom in, change the position of a clip, crop it to give it a cinematic look, or add effects from the Open Effects section. There's a ton to cover here, which I will do, but in a different video. By the way, the free version of Davinci Resolve has some limitations regarding the Open Effects section, and will add a watermark if you choose one of the limited effects. But if you're handy with Fusion, you can basically go around that problem. Workflow. Now here's my own workflow in regards to making videos like the one you're watching and editing them in Resolve. First, I write a script. Yep, with the amount of information in my peanut brain, absolutely needed. Second, I record the footage to said script. As I make videos on software, I use OBS for that. Third, I name the footage appropriately, making my life easier when it comes to sorting clips. 4. I record a voiceover, including the intro and outro, without a camera, so I can form my clips around that. 5. Matching clips to the voiceover. It's super important to have footage shown relevant to what you're saying, so I edit my clips to my voiceover and not the other way around. This also gives me the opportunity to create a guideline and order in the clips and lay them out how I need them to be. I also add markers by pressing M on the keyboard while scrubbing through the footage to mark important spots, like zoom-ins, social media plugs, mistakes in the voiceover, or additional green screen clips and memes.
Are you sure about that?
6. Recording and editing the intro and outro on the camera and replacing the intro-outro part of the voiceover with it. Just my general practice, do this part however you like, or use no camera at all. 7. Polishing up timings, clips, and exporting the project. Basically fine-tuning and ending the project altogether. Steps 7, 8, and 9 are basically creating a thumbnail, making a description for the video, and finding the relevant SEO or tags and titles and all the other intricate stuff you need to get your videos out there and have people actually watch them. All pretty basic. If I wanted, we could stay here for hours, but you will need to actually practice some things in order to understand them in the context of Davinci Resolve. So go out there, import some footage, play around with it, and edit some videos. Don't be afraid to make mistakes either. Actually, make lots of mistakes. Cringe at your edits, and slowly but surely get better at it. I know this was a long one, but there was so much to cover. There will be follow-up parts on specific topics like keyframes, retime controls, Fusion, and how to export. So tap the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to get notified whenever a new video goes live. Let me know in the comment section what you're struggling with while editing, or is there a specific effect you want to use and Davinci doesn't have it? More than likely, I can cover it or help you out in DMs, like Twitter, Instagram, even YouTube, whatever. If you made something cool, tag me. Let me see whatever you made. I'd love to see it. Now it's time for some real good coffee, man. Later. Made it to the end again, huh? Well, it's just the two of us now. If you want to learn some more things, click one of the two buttons you see right now on your screen.
Yeah, boy.